The story starts with a plane flying over the dense and mysterious Amazon jungle. On board is a girl named Justin, who is calmly heading home with her friends. But suddenly, their journey takes a terrifying turn. An unknown force attacks the plane, causing it to go completely out of control, and within moments, the plane starts plummeting rapidly from the sky. Panicked passengers scream as the plane breaks apart during the horrific crash. Some people sitting in the back get thrown from their seats and fall out. Meanwhile, some people get seriously hurt inside. Eventually, the plane crashes hard, right in the middle of the dense Amazon jungle. Sharp branches tear through the pilot's body, and many people die on the spot. Those who survive stumble out of the plane, shaken and terrified. But trouble doesn't leave them alone. One student's head spins into a fan and gets cut. In all the chaos, their GPS tracker goes missing, and their cell phones become useless because there's no signal out there. They're completely cut off from the outside world, and the one person who knew the area best is already dead. Now they're all stuck in the dangerous, unknown depths of the Amazon jungle, where danger lurks at every step. Suddenly, Harv hears strange and scary noises coming from deep within the forest. Listening closely, he realizes those sounds are from the indigenous people living there. Harv thinks that if the tribespeople in the jungle help them, they might be able to make it back to their camp by following the river. They might be able to escape from there somehow. But their hope quickly turns into a nightmare, because the tribal people don't understand a single word of their language, and end up attacking them. In the attack, Harv's girlfriend dies, and the rest are knocked out with some poisonous blows. After a while, when Justin comes to, she finds herself tied up in a wooden boat. Panicked and scared, she tries to untie the ropes around her hands. Just then, a figure covered in black. The tribal man yells loudly, looking really dangerous and ruthless. Slowly, the boat reaches the shore. There, from little kids to old folks, all the tribals have their bodies painted red. Then, as soon as they arrive at the tribal village, the whole tribe surrounds the captured students, touching and staring at them in strange ways, like they've never seen people like this before. But the real fear settles in their hearts when they see human skeletons hanging from the trees, skulls hanging from bamboo poles, and bones scattered all around make it clear that this is a dangerous cannibal tribe. Just then, an old woman comes forward, leaning on a stick, breaking through the crowd. She's the leader of the whole tribe. At the sound of her stick hitting the ground, the entire tribe suddenly falls silent. She slowly walks up to each student, looking them over carefully. Then she says something in her own language that no one understands, and everyone starts nervously looking at each other. After that, they forcefully grab the students and drag them away into a filthy place. They're locked up in pig pens. Outside, the tribal people stare at them, like butchers eye their animals before slaughter. Then, one fat boy turns out to be the unluckiest of all. Because he's separated from the rest, he panics and screams, but no one listens. Just then an old woman comes over and forcefully gives him some strange liquid that makes his body go numb. Right after that, they lay him down on a big rock, and as soon as he starts to, he comes to his senses. A few powerful tribals grab his arms and legs. He becomes completely helpless. Then, the tribe leader slowly walks up and stands in front of that fat boy. Suddenly, she takes a sharp knife in her hand, and in one swift move, gouges out his eyes, and starts eating them without any emotion. Seeing this, the other students get goosebumps, but this was just the beginning. Because next, she cuts off his tongue and eats it too. Right then, a butcher covered in black steps forward, and mercilessly starts chopping off his arms and legs with a big knife. He's in agony, writhing in pain, but no one helps him. Within moments, his body is torn apart. The whole scene is so terrifying that all the students just freeze. Then, the tribal people start preparing his body to eat. They carefully separate every part of him, and then they coat his torso with a special kind of music paste before putting it into a clay oven. As the meat slowly roasts, the smell spreads throughout the village, and even the little kids watch, tempted by the aroma, drooling. Music starts happening. Meanwhile, Justin and his friends watch all this unfold right before their eyes. But surprisingly, instead of freaking out like everyone else, Harv stays pretty calm, music, and tries to find a signal on his phone to somehow send out a help message. But in this dense jungle, his efforts turn out to be completely useless. At the same time, they see the tribe people sitting comfortably, eating their food, and the whole scene looks just like any regular human feast. The only difference is that the food served on the plates is basically human flesh. But this tribe doesn't just rely on humans. They also raise pigs and cows. On special occasions, they capture humans and keep them locked up, and when needed, they include them in their meals too. The students locked in cages are in an even worse state than animals, because they have to eat, drink, and take care of all their needs right there. Slowly, night falls, and the whole village sinks into silence and darkness. Only a few burning fires provide some light. It happens. Seeing the chance, the students start quietly planning their escape. The bearded guy says that if they can find their GPS tracker, he can contact the outside world and maybe get some help. But Harvey cuts him off, saying it's all pointless, because these tribesmen are watching everywhere, and as soon as they finish off their last prey, they'll come for them next. Hearing this, Justin snaps in anger, because he feels Harvey is the root cause of all this trouble that got them trapped here. They trapped her. But with the same courage, a girl slowly starts climbing up towards the top of the cage, trying to get out. The tribal guard on watch immediately gets alert, and without wasting a second, shoots her with a tranquilizer dart, making her fall unconscious right there, shattering everyone else's hopes at that moment. The next morning, Justin wakes up to see a little tribal boy sitting beside her, his eyes fixed on the whistle necklace around her neck. Justin realizes that this might just be her chance, and she slowly blows the whistle to try and make friends. But her plan backfires, because as soon as Kalwa Kasai hears it, he shows up with his gang, drags all the girls out of the cage in anger, and takes them to that scary spot where that fat guy was killed earlier. There, the old tribal chiefess strips their clothes off and inspects each girl carefully, like she's deciding who the next victim will be. After a while, she sends 2 girls back into the cage, but Justin is taken away separately. Everyone else gets even more scared because of that. Suddenly, the weather changes, and heavy rain starts pouring from the sky. Except for the guards, all the villagers hide inside their huts. In all this chaos, a girl locked inside a cage gets a chance to escape. Nearby, a boy cleverly distracts the guard by playing his phone ringtone. And as soon as he gets the chance, she quickly climbs over the cage and gets out. Being a college athlete, she runs fast even on the slippery ground. While running, she spots a wooden boat by the riverbank. Without wasting any time, she runs straight towards him. She quickly jumps into the boat and gets out of there to save herself. Later, after the rain stops, the tribals drag Justin back and lock him in a cage. Although he doesn't have any serious injuries, his whole body and face are covered with strange red and white paint. This leaves his friends completely confused about why all this is happening. Then they notice a tribal girl who is also painted with red and white. And seeing her condition, slowly, everyone starts to realize the truth. That Justin is being prepared for a special tribal ritual. Basically, the tribe is going to marry him off, to make him one of their own. As soon as Justin understands this, he feels like the ground's been pulled out from under him. But then Harvey says something strange, that Justin should consider himself lucky, because those the tribe marries tend to live a bit longer than the other prisoners. Hearing this, the bearded man angrily tells Harvey to shut up and tries to give Justin some courage, saying that they will definitely get out of here. Meanwhile, some tribal folks come over with food near the cage and force the prisoners to eat. Just then, Justin's eyes land again on that little tribal boy, and this time she whistles at him again. The boy listens carefully to the sound, but Harv mocks her, saying it's all pointless, and without thinking, he starts eating the food in the bowl. Nearby, a girl with golden hair hesitates at first, because she's vegetarian, but she's so hungry. Eventually, with trembling hands, she starts eating human flesh. After finishing the food, the girl looks inside the bowl and sees a tattoo. Instantly, she realizes that the meat she was eating was actually her own friend, who had run away from there some time ago. The truth was so horrifying that her mind couldn't take it, and in shock, she immediately breaks the bowl and slits her own throat with a piece of it. Within moments, she stops breathing, leaving the others in the cage stunned. After that, they all understood that if they didn't do something, they'd be next. So, this is it. That's why they come up with a risky plan. Quietly, they open the dead girl's mouth and use a stick to shove some drugged leaves down her throat. The idea is that when the tribesmen eat her flesh, the whole tribe will get high, and they'll have a chance to escape. Not long after, the same Kalwa butcher shows up and starts cutting the girl's body into pieces without any emotion. Then he picks up the body parts and throws them into the same clay oven, where many others had been cooked before. Slowly, but the meat begins to cook. The smell spreads all over the village. The tribal people eagerly wait for the food, and as soon as it's ready, they all dive in. But this time, something's different. After eating just a little, their steps start to wobble. Their eyes get heavy, and one by one, they begin to fall under the effect of the intoxication. Music. This was the moment Justin and the others were waiting for. Justin immediately slips out of the cage with the bearded guy and runs full speed towards the forest. Just then, another guy starts chasing after them. He tries, but Harv, to save himself, hits him hard and knocks him out, so the tribals will focus on him instead, giving Harv a chance to escape. This clearly shows Harv is only looking out for himself now. Justin didn't have time to stay, so she had no choice but to leave him behind and move on. After a while, the boy who was left behind comes to, and sees two tribals standing in front of him, laughing crazily as if they're high. For a moment, he thinks maybe he can quietly get away from there. But then, suddenly, one of them grabs his hand and bites down hard. He screams out in pain, and fighting for his life, starts running as fast as he can. But the other tribesmen nearby quickly swarm him, surrounding him from all sides within seconds. They tear into his body, like starving animals attacking their prey. In the blink of an eye, his body is ripped apart, and his screams fall silent forever. Meanwhile, Justin and the bearded man keep going without stopping. They're running along the riverbank, thinking if they keep moving upstream, they might find a rescue team. But just as they're crossing the river, Justin slips and gets swept away by the strong current. The bearded man panics, but runs along the riverbank to help him, grabbing a tree branch and pulling him out. Both of them are completely exhausted, but they start heading back into the forest and end up right where their plane crashed. It used to be bad, but now the place was even scarier, because the bodies of the people who were killed were hanging from the bamboo poles, drying out in the sun and wind, becoming food for carnivores. The bearded man didn't waste any time and ran straight towards the plane wreckage, hoping to find some help there. Finally, luck was on his side when he found his GPS tracker among the debris. But their hopes were crushed in an instant, because the battery was completely dead, making it useless. Just then, suddenly, Justin, a faint ringtone from the phone is heard. Both of them panic and start frantically searching through the pockets of the scattered bodies. And finally, they find the phone in Harv's girlfriend's pocket. Seeing this, relief finally shows on their faces for the first time. But just then, the tribal people, searching for them like wild animals, arrive and catch them again. After all the effort to escape, survival now seems impossible. Then, the tribal women grab Justin and start preparing him for marriage. They paint strange colors all over his body and he's all dressed up for the ceremony. Meanwhile, the bearded man is tied tightly to a wooden post, and then the butcher starts punishing him. One by one, he breaks all his bones, so he can't move at all. After that, his whole body is covered with a sticky green clay that smells sweet, and within moments, hundreds of ants start crawling all over him. They bite and tear at his skin. The man screams loudly in pain, but there's no one to help him. Meanwhile, Justin is fully ready. An elderly woman from the tribe comes forward, holding a small knife in her hand, ready to start the terrifying wedding ritual. But just then, loud screams suddenly ring out from outside. The tribe members panic, and the ritual comes to a halt. At that moment, a tribal man runs into the village, carrying a severed human head. Seeing this, everyone realizes that outsiders have entered the forest. Without wasting a second, the chief orders everyone to go hunting, and within minutes, the entire village is deserted. Behind, only women, kids, and that little tribal boy who had first heard Justin's whistle were left. Seeing the chance, the boy quietly came over to the cage and freed Justin. Justin started to run, but her heart wouldn't let her leave the bearded man behind. So she went to free him too. Just then, the man stopped her and said she should take the phone and get out of there immediately. This was her last chance, but suddenly, the little boy knocked the bearded man out, and in the next moment, slit his throat. Seeing this, Justin was completely shattered inside, but now there was no way to stop. While the bird trapped in the cage kept calling out to her, but this time Justin didn't listen to it at all, and left it behind. The little boy helped Justin get through the dangerous forest paths, and took him quite far. Before leaving, he gave the kid his small whistle necklace, but luck still wasn't on their side. As soon as Justin started crossing the river, the returning tribesmen spotted her. Suddenly, a dangerous jaguar appeared, one that the tribe considered a god. They understood the signal. Surprisingly, the jaguar didn't attack Justin, and the tribespeople took it as a sign and stopped chasing her. Somehow, Justin crossed the river and reached the other side, but what she saw there shocked her. There was a fierce shootout going on between the rescue team and the cannibals, and the tribespeople were falling one by one under the gunfire. Seeing the dead tribespeople, Justin suddenly got a dangerous but useful idea. She quickly took out her phone and without hesitation walked straight up to the rescue team. She raises her hands to signal, so no one mistakes her for an enemy and shoots, loudly explaining that she's not one of those tribals, but a survivor. Seeing the phone in her hand, the team commander realizes she must have been a prisoner. He immediately calls her over, and the soldiers stop firing. For the first time in a long while, Justin feels safe. Then, before getting into the helicopter, a soldier asks her if anyone else is alive. Justin stays silent for a moment, her mind flashing through all that. Her friends tragically die. But then, hesitantly, she lies, saying she's the only survivor, and everyone else died in the plane crash. After that, she's safely taken away and sent home. Meanwhile, Harv is left behind forever with that cannibal tribe. Within days, Justin's story spreads all over the world, and she becomes famous overnight. The media starts portraying her like a hero, but Justin hides a big truth from the world. She never reveals what really happened to her friends. Actually, it was the tribal people who did it. In fact, the story flips to say that those same tribes helped her, and if it weren't for them, she wouldn't have survived out in the forest. She tells it this way so that the tribe's existence isn't threatened, and no one tries to wipe them out. But the story doesn't end there. One night when Justin is at home, she gets a call from Harv's sister. She says that satellite images showed a strange man, whose entire body is covered in black, and his appearance is pretty unusual. Harv is alive. Hearing this, Justin is completely shocked, because it basically means Harv is still alive, but no longer human. He's become part of that cannibal tribe, and maybe even their new butcher, Kalua. And with that, the story ends. So friends, if you liked this story, first hit one of the 2 hype options next to the comments to motivate us. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Until then, bye.